We are the Dream Crushers podcast.
This is cutting it close.
Yeah.
Recording like 2 days before post.
Yeah. Plus, we got the other one to get out too.
We got nothing.
What
They're
do you-
all out.
You released the last one that we did in the truck here?
Yeah.
When? I didn't hear that.
Last week?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I know, you still haven't subscribed.
Oh. Huh. I feel like I have. I don't know. I should subscribe. You should subscribe. We should all subscribe to the
Indeed.
Dream Crushers podcast.
It's a weekly show, man.
We're here.
Even though I missed a couple weeks. I don't know if I missed a week or a couple weeks or whatever, but
What do you mean?
it's getting too busy. What?
Have we been releasing this whole time? Or have I been in the dark?
Uh,
I feel like it's been like over a month without any
definitely not over a month, but
Oh.
there was at least a week, possibly 2 weeks, that we went dark
Yeah.
due to things.
Things and life. It's called life. There's a
Right.
thing called life. And not to hurt anybody's feelings, but we do this a lot for fun. We like to make people think about stuff, but overall, this isn't a source of revenue or anything for us. We just do it because we enjoy it.
Why would that be
and
hurtful?
Just because, like, we kind of do it for ourselves. Like, I just mean, like,
I see.
if there are people that are listening that are fans, I don't want to make it seem like we don't care about you guys, because we do. But sometimes life does get in the way, and this is a little bit lower on our list of many things that we do in life, our commitments, so to speak. So
Gotta feel
and-
pretty bad though, at least me, because I think I might have made an official promise that it'll be weekly,
yeah.
but it just turned out that's not always doable. So
Mm-hmm.
sorry for being dishonest.
Yeah.
Be
But-
more honest now.
But we
We'll
are
get them out
here.
when we can.
How's that, YouTube algorithm? We'll get them out when we can.
Right?
Anywho, yeah. Do you, was there something you wanted to talk about?
You mean we don't even have a topic?
I mean, I do, in my head. but
Do you?
didn't know
I
if
actually
had
do
something.
too, but mine was going to be absolutely absurd based on something that was brought up on the last episode. It can definitely be backburnered for indefinitely.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on to that thought. I wanted to talk about something. So, like I said, we do this podcast kind of for us because we enjoy it and stuff like that. And for me personally, I don't know about for you, but for me personally, just sitting down and having like long form conversations is something that we don't get to do very often in everyday life.
Right.
And I really enjoy it, like especially like digging deep, like going deeper than small talk, you know. It's easy to just get caught in the day-to-day with, if you're in a relationship or just with your family or whoever you talk to on a daily basis, you just kind of talk about the same things every day. You talk about work, you talk about how your day went, you talk about what's the weather, it's really hot right now, you talk about this, and it's like, it's nice to like talk about deeper things, you know.
Mhm.
And obviously that's not always feasible to talk about the whatever theories of space and physics, like when you're just talking to somebody you see every day. But anywho, I enjoy it, and it's kind of like therapeutic for me, just sitting down and talking about things.
Mhm.
But one thing that I wanted to talk about today was something personal that I've been feeling lately, and I've been trying to put my finger on what it is because I'm not sure exactly. I've begun to notice with paying attention to myself, my moods, how I'm feeling, my day-to-day life, how successful I'm being weekly, monthly, and all this. As we've talked about before, kind of checking in on yourself constantly and seeing where you're at. It's easy just to kind of put your head down and go through life.
Mhm.
And one thing that I've started to notice is I have these kind of like ups and downs, which I know everybody does, but I get to these places sometime where, like, I was trying to think of a way to put it because it's kind of hard to explain. I thought about it the other day as it's like depression without being like sad or really like that down. Like, it's not as dark as depression. Like, I don't think I've ever really, I mean, I've felt somewhat of depression in life, you know. I've been sad and had like some like dark moments where I just kind of felt blah and unhappy for like long periods of time, but it feels kind of different than that. It doesn't really feel like depression, but it has that same kind of like weight to it. It feels like this kind of thing that moves in from time to time, and I don't know if it is the cause or the effect, but there's always things in my life I notice that are changing, and that's why I know that it's happening. Like, it'll be like my exercise will be down. All of a sudden, like my diet goes off. I'm not eating as well as I should be. My sleep is messed up. I feel weird, kind of strange emotionally. I can be kind of distant. And I don't know if it is like one of those things, like say I just haven't been getting enough sleep, so it's causing me to be more tired, so I'm not exercising, and then I start eating. You know what I mean? Like, all of that stuff can kind of have a domino effect on itself. But sometimes it just like, it feels like uncontrollable, almost maybe like I don't notice it starting at first, and then when I do notice it, it just feels so overwhelming. I just have to kind of like let it roll through.
Right.
And it affects, I don't know if it affects or if it's, you know, the cause or the effect, but like my workload is down. Like, I'm not doing as much stuff creatively as I want to be doing.
Workload, or like
with the things
productivity.
that I'm productivity. Like, I'm not working on the amount of workload that I typically can when I'm really fired up.
Right.
And it's strange because it's not like I'm less happy. Like, I still feel happy. That's why I say it feels different than like a depression. I'm not like sad and like, I don't feel like lonely or anything like that. But it's just like all the other things that go with it. Like, I just feel kind of blah, and like I just feel like I'm not at my best. And I don't know if that's just like normal. Everybody feels that, or if I also feel like it could just be a lack of discipline. Like, I'm just not forcing myself to stick with the things that I know make me feel good. And so in return, just keeping me at a nice stable level. But yeah, you ever feel anything like that? Because I feel like I'm kind of at the tail end of it now. Because I kind of noticed it, and I was like, oh, I need to like do something about this and deal with it.
So is it just like a long period that seems to be fading now, or what?
Yeah, it's been like, I don't know, maybe like almost a month, it seems like. And I just kind of put my finger on it, like maybe a week or two ago, a week and a half ago maybe, of like noticing, oh, okay, like I know what this is.
Hey, we got company.
That's all right. They can company. But yeah, it's interesting. But I feel like I'm at the tail end, I think, because I noticed it. And yeah, I don't know.
I feel like it's potentially many things, actually. It sounded like you're trying to find a single explanation for it. And I think it could be a little bit of everything. Like you mentioned, eating and sleep and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'll get these feelings. I feel like I brought them to your attention not all that long ago. Like when I now have a morning routine with meditation and waking up early and stuff like that. And if I don't get that routine in now, I'm actually, when I first started it, I wasn't able to see an obvious effect.
But then
however, when I stop,
yeah,
that's when it really becomes
like a
noticeable.
Rebound effect, yeah.
Kind of almost like first starting it is a really slow ramp that makes it difficult to notice. But then a sudden, like, I had a headache a couple weeks ago when I woke up, and I was like, I can't get up. I've been getting up over an hour earlier than I used to, just so that I have time for this whole morning thing. And I had a headache, and I was like, I can't get out of bed right now. I gotta lay here a little bit longer and see if I can get rid of this headache, or I'm not gonna be able to go to work. And so I laid in bed, and I ended up waking up much later, and it threw off my entire day. I didn't get the meditation in. I didn't get my morning hydration. I didn't get all this stuff, my gratitude journal that I do every morning. and it just kind of fouled the entire day. And I've noticed the same with just eating. And also, I'm in a really positive mindset right now.
Yeah.
Something, I feel like this is the same as what you're saying, something will spike something where it's like, is all this positive belief I have right now kind of like mythical?
Yeah.
Like sometimes something won't go great, and it's like, wow, can I really achieve anything? And so I just get kind of down and dumpy, sort of, when most of the time I'm like on this constant high.
Yeah.
Like super happy, super motivated. Not even really motivated, but just, positive thinking.
Yeah,
like,
you just feel good.
Whatever happens, I'm going to be able to make it.
Yeah, you're riding that wave. Yeah.
So what you said about being normal, I think it's a little bit of everything, and I also think it's normal. Yeah. I think even if you were to do every day perfect, eat perfect, do whatever ritual that makes you feel good, everything was just spot on, I still think you can have good days and bad days, and it's just going to be how you process each one.
I agree. I think one of my problems that I have right now is that. So I think this is the path that I take. I think this is how it goes. I think I get super pumped up. I'm amped. I'm motivated. I'm crushing everything, and I'm, like you said, I'm like riding that wave, and like my like businesses that I'm trying to like build up. Like I'm putting a lot of work into those, and things are really working out. And I'm talking to people. I'm exercising. I'm eating good. I feel like I'm just like on top of the world. I'm crushing it, and I think that sometimes I kind of spread myself too thin, and what ends up happening is I'm doing all this stuff and I don't have time to say clean my house, like do my dishes. I got some laundry stacking up, and then after I neglect that for so long, I'm like, I don't have time right now. All that builds up, and then that starts making me feel a certain way. Like,
I can see that.
Like I feel like, my house is dirty. Like I feel unaccomplished, even though I'm doing this other stuff. And then it's like that stuff doesn't satisfy because all of this shit's like dirty and whatever.
Right.
And then it's like from there, the lack of discipline that I have makes everything start to unwind. So I start feeling more stressed because of that. And then I like, oh fuck, like whatever. I'm just gonna eat this fucking bullshit food, eat something bad. And then I'm like, oh fuck, I'm fucking ate that shit. I don't even feel like going to the gym now. It's like this domino effect going backwards, and it's like it just compounds, and pretty soon I'm like laying there in a dirty house eating some bullshit, like when I'm like I should be either exercising, building something, researching a better way to do something better. You know what I mean? And it's like it all just kind of weighs it to the other side. And so I think definitely just being more disciplined would help, and taking the time out.
That's way easier said than done, though. Discipline. At least for me, discipline is. I don't have enough discipline to be disciplined.
Yeah.
That's
the ironic thing about discipline is you need discipline to be disciplined. It's a fucking weird cliche thing.
I think, I don't know, I think a couple things. One, I think you need to take care of your house. Because one thing I hear repeatedly from different people is, also on like this morning routine thing, the importance of just making your bed. Just that one thing, even though it's like so small and it doesn't really matter, especially if you live alone, who the fuck cares if your bed is made? But one, when it's the first thing in the morning, when you jump out of bed and you make your bed, instant accomplishment, and it sets the mood for the rest of the day.
True.
That you're gonna win. It's just sheets and a cover. I mean, if you think about it, it's silly. But not only that, it's at the end of the day you come home to a made bed, and just the way that feels.
Yeah.
So trite, but it's a big deal. So I think your surroundings are a big deal. You know that thing they talk about, the whole you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with.
Yeah.
I feel like that has to do with like just your surroundings and stuff like that. I know that I've heard several times about the way you dress makes you feel and perform differently.
Yeah.
And so I'm guessing that your house is the same. Now, I'm talking a bunch of shit right now because our house looks like shit. But I mean, knowing something is different than actually doing it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. My house looks like shit too.
But I think that's the point: is get yourself in a surrounding environment that makes you feel more productive. So if that means you're gonna have to brush off all the shit that you should be doing, just to kind of organize your house a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, that just becomes the thing that you should be doing. And I think what I do is I'm really fucking good at making excuses for myself.
Oh yeah.
And justifying shit in my head. I am fucking pro level. If you need any excuses, just ask me. I'll make some up for you too.
You got another business idea.
Yeah, exactly. I have a business of making excuses. What I'll do is I will be busy. I'm successful doing things. I'm, productive. I'm building stuff, taking photos, whatever I'm doing. And then the house starts getting dirty, and how I justify not cleaning the house is I'm like, my business is more important than this laundry.
Right.
And so I fucking justify stupid little shit like that by making myself feel like I'm a boss ass fucking hustler over here.
Right.
And I don't even have time to fucking clean my laundry.
Yeah, I see that.
And it's like, dude, you gotta like base level, you gotta like take care of yourself first. Like if you don't take care of yourself and you're not at a level where you can like hire a maid or something, like you gotta take care of yourself, because all that other, it's just fucking fluff and bullshit if you feel like shit, And when my house is dirty, I feel like shit. And I know that. And it's like, it's almost more frustrating knowing a lot of like, whatever you want to call them, life hacks or successful tips. And it's like, you just know more shit that you're not doing. Like, I'm like, oh, I know that I need, between whatever people want to debate, between 7 and 9 hours of sleep. I know that, I need to reduce certain types of foods in my diet and eat this. I know that I should be exercising 4 to 5 times a week. And like, I know like on a very deep level, like I've looked into, I like just research and look at so much different things. Like I know so many details about it. I know it in detail. And then when I still don't do it, it like makes it 10 times worse. It's like, I know the fucking physiology of what my body's doing right now.
Right.
And it's not just like, oh yeah, I just feel tired because I didn't sleep. It's like, no, like I didn't get enough REM sleep and my brain can't function. And like, it's just like, makes it so much worse when you don't do it. And it's just like,
Tell me if I'm wrong, but what it sounded like when you were talking about that is that you're, whether knowingly or unknowingly, focusing on the superficial things and kind of setting aside the more intrinsic things, the things that matter, as in like you work out, you feel better, nobody can see that. You get enough sleep, nobody can see that. But you're going to focus more on getting shit done in your business because, that shows that you're a hustler and that you're going to succeed.
Yeah.
And so all the things that don't obviously show that you're a successful business person or whatever, even though that sounds kind of...
No, that makes a lot of sense. Actually, that probably is like some kind of subconscious thing of what it is. Like, I'm like, oh, like, well, people aren't going to know if my fucking house is clean, but they're going to know if I build this shelf.
Exactly.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. I'm sure that weighs on it too. Fucking crazy. But
so a heightened sense of self, I think, is super important.
Yeah.
Definitely take care of yourself before anything else.
And I've come a long way, like, just for me being able to see that and talk to myself and be like, hey, like, what's going on here? Mm-hmm. Something feels off. You don't feel 100%. You haven't been working out. You've been less disciplined. You're eating like shit. Your house is dirty, this, that. And it's like, what?
I bet it all compounds, too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Maybe the underwear on the floor is one thing, and then a shitty meal is another thing, and after a while you're just like, God damn, I fucking suck.
You don't know how much of a mess my house is? My house is so much of a mess that my dirty clothes and my clean clothes are on the floor right now. That's how fucked the situation is.
And you got steaks on the counter.
Yeah, fucking steaks. Cardinal sin. But yeah, so if any of you guys feel any of that, you guys can comment or message us. Let us know what how you guys feel when that happens, or if you guys notice that, or maybe you guys can start noticing that. Pay attention to how you feel. That's a huge thing, checking in on yourself and making sure that you're doing okay. If things around you seem like they're okay, but something doesn't feel right inside, like, check up on yourself, see what that shit is. Dig around a little bit.
I bet the people that struggle with this the most are the most giving people. The people that want to do so much for other people. And so, again, their personal needs aren't being met.
Yeah.
Even though, I want to say that the health thing and the mind thing is very new to me. So my entire life of eating like shit and staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning and waking up at noon and stuff like that was all really messing with me, and I didn't know it. If you don't know it, you don't know it.
Yeah.
And so learning to take care of yourself changes your mindset a lot. And I don't just mean like a productivity level, I just mean like happiness and well-being and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I really think taking care of yourself, or at least taking care of myself, has changed a lot. So focus on you a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's very interesting when you start like learning stuff and different health stuff and things like that, and then you can like pick out people, like, people like a friend or family or whatever, and they have like a problem that they've been like struggling with for a long time, and you're like, I know the fucking answer to that.
Right. And
like sometimes you try and tell them and they're like, no, there's no way, like, that's it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, like I just feel so like my face is red, I just feel like puffy, I have like weird stomach things sometimes, and I always feel kind of tired, and I don't really feel that good. And it's like they drink every day.
Right.
And you're like, I know what's going on here. Like, you drink every day, your gut biome is just fucking wrecked.
Yeah.
Which I've been guilty of also, just by, it can be fucked up by food, by drinking, all kinds of stuff. But yeah, it's like that affects you. There's so much more information now on how our food and our surroundings, how that affects us physically, whereas people are like, I just have like 1 or 2 drinks, like, it's not that bad for me. You know what I mean? They're all that they kind of attribute with drinking is like either being a full-blown alcoholic and that being bad, or like tons and tons of drinking and having like some liver problems later on when they're like 80. But It's like, no, there's like a lot of small things. And that's with drinking, that's with eating certain foods, and it's like, no, like, this affects you now. Like, you could like feel so much better. And it's crazy because like when you're in it, you don't notice, because you're so used to feeling like shit, you don't know what normal feels like.
Right.
And then when you go on like a keto diet or cut a lot of stuff out and you feel better, and then you like do that again, you're like, oh my god, I lived like this for years. I didn't even know. I felt like shit that whole time. I thought I was supposed to feel like shit.
This kind of goes back to what I was saying about the meditation thing earlier, is that you should be open-minded and try some stuff and stick with it for a while, because I don't think you're going to notice a difference. You're just not. It's like when you're not bloated, you don't notice.
Yeah.
But then you do it, you stick with it, even if you're like, this is bullshit. I'm doing this, and I'm not eating the foods I really want to eat. For what? I don't feel any different. Just stick with it for a couple months. And then as soon as you eat a piece of pizza, you're like, oh, woo, I feel like shit. And all of a sudden, your mind is open, and it's like...
It's cool, too, because you, at least I know for me, and I think for a lot of people, your brain flags that moment in time. And it's like, oh, that pizza makes you feel like shit. And so the next time when you're kind of craving it, you like, that comes up and your body's almost like, it might seem good, but you're not really craving it. And you like stop craving certain things.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
sugar doesn't
pretty
count.
wild.
Not for me.
What? You still crave it?
Still bad.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Bad. I've cut it out so much.
Yeah.
And
it's
definitely one of the worst things for you, but
sugar's a tough one.
Yeah, I wish I could say that. Nope, can't. I can't stop doing sugar. I definitely cut it back, but the craving has not gone away yet.
Ice cream always calls to me. One of the things too, though, one of the things that's fucked up is ice cream doesn't make me feel like shit.
Right.
So maybe it's not.
You were talking about that lactose super tolerant.
Yeah. I like to refer to myself as lactose super tolerant because like some people are sensitive to dairy, and I'm like not at all. Eat a pint of Ben and Jerry's right before I go to sleep, and like wake up and feel fine. It's like you're a slothy human being. But
all right, sum this one up. Sum it up. We got 4 minutes.
Yeah, we'll wrap this one up. It was just kind of a quick little one for you guys. Don't know if you guys have experienced anything like that, you ladies, anything either. If you have, like I said, let us know. Like, subscribe.
Again, I bet a lot of people feel this stuff and they don't know that they do.
Yeah, check in on yourself. And explore for those people that don't even know about, I don't know what you would call it, self-knowledge or life hacking, biohacking, stuff like that. Do some research. Kind of like life coachy type things. There are some kind of strange woo people out there, but there's a lot of people that are proponents of success and mindset. We're kind of like we're kind of like the horse's mouth, just telling things that we've seen and heard. We're trying to be kind of a middle ground in between the big entrepreneurs that are out there and seem so unreachable. We want to get to the smaller people, the normal people out there, the guys and girls that are just average Joes that may not know about all of the super athletes that use these techniques for mindset and for accomplishing goals and stuff like that. And so but I think that's it.
Yep. That's good.
All right, guys. We will see you next time.
Go crush your dreams.
Go crush your dreams.
Bye. 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 Bye.